Today's video is about a man who throughout his whole career had to fight for his identity. Not only due to his infamous little brother, but also to the whole music industry, as every hit this vocalist put out was later remade and was even more successful than the original. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Jimmy Ruffin. Now, before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born Jimmy Lee Ruffin on May 7th, 1936 in Collinsville, Mississippi to Ophelia and Eli Ruffin. He's the oldest of four, with his youngest sister unfortunately passing away as an infant. His father Eli was a sharecropper and a minister. Now this time during the late 30s and being in the country south, Ruffin was born in a house that had no electricity. By 1941, Ruffin lost his mother due to complications of childbirth 10 months after she gave birth to David. After the death of his mother, Jimmy along with his siblings had to stay with their father, who was very strict and allegedly abusive. Jimmy and his siblings had a gospel group that traveled alongside their father, opening up shows for the likes of Mahalia Jackson and the Five Blind Boys of Mississippi. Jimmy and David also sang in a gospel group that was named the Dixie Nightingales. During the late 50s, Ruffin began working with Motown, but mostly with their subsidiary label, Miracle Records. By 1961, Ruffin was drafted into the military. Now Ruffin really enjoyed singing, but he never wanted to become a singer. While in the military, he joined a group that toured around the US bases in Europe. By 1964, Ruffin was actually going to resign to extend his time in the military, but it was due to a woman who booked the group that talked Ruffin into taking music serious. So sometime in 1964, freshly removed from military life, Ruffin was looking to pick up where he left off. Making a move back to Mississippi is where he learned of his brother David chasing a music career in Detroit. So he decided to meet him out there. Upon arriving in Detroit, David introduced his brother to Mary Wells, who helped Jimmy get an audition for the label. Motown took a real liking to him and signed him to Miracle Records. Here, Ruffin released his first single, Don't Feel Sorry For Me.
No, no, my baby, don't feel sorry for me.
Ruffin's career didn't take off right away, which led him to get a job at Ford Motors. Ruffin made a name for himself locally by performing at nightclubs as well as providing backup vocals for Motown acts. During this time, Ruffin got into writing, but he wrote the song I'll Walk Right Out the Door for the 4 holidays. Opportunity arose when he was offered the opportunity to join the Temptations to replace Elbridge Bryan. Ruffin gained their attention while on the Motown review tour. However, after hearing his brother David sing, they decided to hire him instead. According to Otis Williams of the Temptations, he stated that the deciding factor was at the fact that David could dance, while Jimmy danced like he had 2 left feet. Ruffin didn't let that get him down, as he still chose to chase a music career. Just this time, he was solo. The label did offer him a deal with Motown's soul label. Jimmy resumed his solo career, but he had little to no success at this point. By 1966, he heard a song that was about unrequited love, and this song was originally intended for the group The Spinners. But when Jimmy heard this song, it just spoke something to him. He knew this song was for him. So he persuaded higher ups to give him the song. Now this song became known as What Becomes of the Brokenhearted.
And confusion, what becomes of the broken?
With the success of this song, the label began to put together his debut album called Jimmy Ruffin Sings Top 10. Along with his first single, this album produced 2 more singles with I Passed This Way Before
So long to end has found my poor heart again.
and Gonna Give Her All the Love I Got.
I'm so glad I've served my time. I'm gonna meet that girl that I left.
In 1969, his second album was set to be released, titled Rough and Ready. Now this album had one song that charted with Don't You Miss Me a Little Baby.
But be another, so forget about your foolish pride and let's get back together.
During his career, Ruffin only had 2 top 10 hits in the United States. Now, due to his songs not having so much success in the United States, he decided to focus on the UK market. But he released 3 songs that all made the top 10 on the UK charts. These songs was Farewell Is a Lonely Sound,
Saying goodbye to someone you love is so hard.
I Say Forever My Love,
If you can't see what I feel inside,
and It's Wonderful.
it's wonderful to be needed by you. So much pride.
In 1970, Ruffin was voted as one of the best artists in the 70s in the UK. Despite the popularity of both brothers' music, neither Jimmy or David achieved the career or financial stability that they deserve. Throughout Ruffin's career, he recorded for labels Polydor and Chess, also releasing notable singles such as Since I Lost You,
Put on my lips if I can't kiss you, girl. No, not.
As Long as There's Love,
But I've been loving you so long.
Don't Let Him Take Your Love From Me,
Begging you. No.
Stand By Me,
Oh, stand by me.
Maria,
Come on back to me, Maria.
Tell Me What You Want,
Sharing things with you. Baby, tell me what you want. You know that I'll try.
Falling in Love with You,
Kind of girl that I could love and leave.
Hold On,
And all that we knew had just drifted away. And I looked in,
and Turn to Me.
wondering where to turn and who to turn to.
In 1980, Ruffin released his last album called Sunrise. After his success in Europe and the departure of David from the Temptations, both brothers decided to do a duet album called I Am My Brother's Keeper. Now this album peaked at number 15 on the top R&B albums charts and 178 on the Billboard 200 charts. By the late 70s, Jimmy was struggling to keep his identity intact, as members of his label eventually remade all of his well-known songs. But the thing is, those remakes was more commercially successful than his. During the time when Ruffin was struggling to make money, he allegedly turned to pimping. Allegedly, Rick James taught him how to pimp and told him to only pimp out white women. During the 80s, Ruffin, he moved to Great Britain, where he enjoyed the successful time performing. In 1991, after the death of his brother, Jimmy became an anti-drug advocate. Eventually, he moved back to the United States, where he settled in Las Vegas with his 6 kids. On October 17, 2014, Jimmy was hospitalized after becoming ill. And on November 17, 2014, Jimmy sadly passed away at the age of 78. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from Jimmy Ruffin?